Hi, I'm Ryan Ashley Wall. This is the Raw Quiz Show. Thank you for watching. I'm so glad you're here. If you're watching this video, it's because you're interested and thought maybe I want to understand what's going on with this show. This video will be instrumental for helping you to understand how this show operates. The Raw Quiz Show is not a fair show. It is highly produced. Everyone here is subject to my whims. They will sometimes be gracious, as I am a gracious host, but other times I will be irritable and rude and just do mean things to these people, these good people, for no good reason. So, with that being said, let's explain how this show works. First, it is essentially a trivia game first and foremost. There are 5 question categories in a given episode. Not all of them will necessarily appear in a single episode, but usually I do get around to them. There's history, culture, science, random. Random is a bit different than the others because it's not always necessarily a trivia question. Sometimes it's a game, sometimes it's an exercise, sometimes it's just a weird request. And then the last type is, of course, viewer questions, which fall under the other 4 categories, but I don't write those questions and I make it clear who wrote the question. So if you want to send in a question to the Raw Quiz Show, send it into rawquizshow@gmail.com, and you may have an opportunity to ask a question that will affect an outcome on this show. Now, there is another thing that's going differently for the Raw Quiz Show. Unlike most trivia games, the Raw Quiz Show is one in which our combatants, not contestants, don't always just gain points. Sometimes they get the opportunity to engage each other directly. These come in the form of different point types. The first type is normal points. And as an example for that, I'm going to ask a question. These guys buzz in by simply saying their name. Whoever I hear first, I tell them to give me the answer. If it's correct, they get control of the points. So, as an example, this would be an example of a random question because it doesn't fit into any of the other categories. But what color is the sky on a normal day with no clouds at about noon?
Roy.
Roy.
Blue.
Blue is correct. So now blue is the correct answer. Roy has answered correctly. This would be a normal point type question. He would gain 10 normal points. You would hear this sound, and you would see his score under his name or over his name, depending on where he is on the frame here, go up. You'll see that actually happen in real time as he gets the answer correct. However, there are other point types. For example, another one of our point categories is aggressive point types, sword points. The way sword points work is if somebody gains control of these points, they can hit somebody else, but only somebody who is directly adjacent to them on the scoreboard. Above us, you'll notice rankings. You will see from left to right, 1 through 5. Roy is able to hit somebody who is only directly next to his name with sword points. So, for an example, if I asked a 10 sword point question, and the question was a history question, who is the first president of the United States?
Roy.
Roy would answer.
George Washington.
George Washington is correct. And then as per our scoreboard right now, Roy would be able to hit either Brian or Drew. So, Roy, who would you like to hit?
Let's go Drew.
Drew gets hit for 10 sword points. His score will come down. His score will come down right before your eyes, unfortunately, and you will hear this sound. Of course, all of this will happen in real time. There is another point type, bow points. Bow points are like sword points, except there is no limitation to the range. You can hit anybody on the scoreboard no matter how far away they are in the rankings. So I would ask a question like this. Let's call it a, I guess, history question, but it could be science as well. What is fired from a bow?
Brian.
Brian.
A walrus.
A walrus would not be correct. Now, in the event that somebody gets a question incorrect, like Brian just has for us, then others would have the opportunity to answer. So I ask again, what do you fire from a bow?
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
An arrow.
An arrow is correct. And then Tiffany, gaining control of these points, you would hear this sound, and of course she would be able to hit anybody on the scoreboard. Her targets would be Drew, Roy, Brian, or myself.
Oh, I'm hitting someone now. Roy.
And Roy gets hit for 10 bow points. His score drops. There it goes. So there is one final point type. And the way this point type works is called shield points. You know, come to think of it, I don't think I really need to do a demonstration for this one. The way shield points work are just like normal points, except they do not contribute to somebody's overall health points. Instead, they merely serve as a buffer. If somebody gets hit with sword or bow points while they have shield points, their health points do not drop, only their shield points do, at least in proportion to the amount of damage done. So there you have it. Those are the point types for the Raw Quiz Show. You may have noticed also that I am in the rankings and on the scoreboard. If these guys should fail to answer a question correctly, then I get control of the points. And there is one other thing that I should have covered before. Forgot to, but we'll cover now. And that is disability. If someone is doing extremely well, like Roy was in the beginning of this video, then what I would do normally is disable that person. What this does is, for however many questions I say, usually just one, that person is unable to answer the question, giving everyone else an opportunity to get the answer. Now, sometimes I will do this just because I'm upset or because they've said something I don't like. Other times I do it out of sense of fair play, but again, show is not fair. Lastly, one thing I want to say about the Raw Quiz Show is it is also an audience participation show. On the Facebook group, where you can see this logo, you will be able to contribute yourself through questions that are support questions throughout the week. They will affect the outcome of this show by allowing you to choose somebody here to support. If you want to, you would answer a support question with the name of the person who you want to support. And if you get it correct, I read your answer on the show, and the person you support gets the points. Support points can also be done in YouTube with the comments section. Oftentimes, I will end the show with a support question where, again, you have the opportunity to answer the question and choose who will benefit. So thank you again for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone here for helping me to demonstrate. Please watch Season 2, where you can see more of these fine people, Tiffany Cornwall, Joseph Lopez, Roy Short, and Drew Dodgen. They will all be on it. And of course, James Hamrick, who could not be with us tonight, but should be with us normally. Thank you. I'll see you soon, November 7th or 8th. Not really sure yet, but one of those days, Season 2 will launch. Thanks.